Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ISKCON Blantyre. Nowadays, we are discussing the pastimes of Narasimha Deva, and we have already read from the 8th chapter of the 7th canto till text 24. Let's start text 25th onwards and comment wherever necessary. Text 25. Thereafter, the great demon Hiranyakasipu, who was extremely angry, swiftly attacked Narasimha Deva with his club and began to beat him. Lord Narasimha Deva, however, captured the great demon along with his club, just as a Garuda might capture a great snake. 26. O Yudhishthir, O son of Bharata, when Lord Narasimha Deva gave Hiranyakashipu a chance to slip from his hand, just as Garuda sometimes plays with a snake and lets it slip from his mouth, the demigods who had lost their abodes and who were hiding behind the clouds for the fear of demon did not consider that incident very good. Indeed, they were perturbed. Purport Commentary by Prabhupada. When Hiranyakashipu was in the process of being killed by Lord Narasimha Deva, the Lord gave the demon a chance to slip from his clutches. This incident was not very much appreciated by the demigods, for they were greatly afraid of Hiranyakashipu. They knew that if somehow or other Hiranyakashipu escaped from Narasimha Dev's hands and saw that the demigods were looking forward to his death with great pleasure, he would take revenge upon them. Therefore, they were very much afraid. Yes, the demigods are afraid of Lord Narasimha, of our dear friend Hiranyakashipu, because so far he has created havoc in the universe. He has taken over the demigod seats. Yeah, and he was instructing demigods what to do, when to do. Whenever he wanted the sun out, he would tell Surya, okay, now you have to shine. Whenever he wanted the rain, he could tell demigod of rain, Indra, okay, now you got to shower. Everything was happening according to his desire, not according to the desire of them, or according to the universal desire, how it happens automatically. No, everything had to happen according to how Hiranyakashipu says, because he's the temporary god over there after taking over everything in this universe. So they were already very afraid of him. And then when we see how Narasimha was toying, he was playing with Hiranyakashipu, trying to give him a chance by slipping away from Lord Narasimha hand. And the demon that he was, he thought, yes, I've got out of his hand. Now I'm going to rest for a couple of seconds, catch my breath, and go back and kill Lord Narasimha Deva. So he had full faith in his own glory or in his own power, that after a little bit rest, but in that little bit rest he took, Narasimha Deva was continuously fighting with his other demons, his other colleagues, his other ministers, and his soldiers. So Narasimha Deva did not need help or rest for that matter, because he's the Supreme Lord. He does not need rest. We have read this yesterday also in one of the purports, where Prabhupada is explaining Parasha Shaktir Vividhaiva Suyate Swabhaviki Jnana Bala Kriyacha, that everything around us is going on as if automatic, but it is actually happening by the Lord's power. So the Lord did not have to take rest. He could go on, but still he gave Hiranyakashipu a small chance to rest and recuperate. And then we also see that when the big fighter, like the biggest fighter in big stature, he's there, and some new small guy comes for his debut fight. This big chap is like, come on, man, don't waste my time. So when the wrestling actually starts in the ring, This big chap, the older chap, the bigger and stronger chap, he gives chance to the young guy to like look like he's winning. He'll take some blows and he'll sell out like, oh, I'm getting hurt very much. But then we know eventually who's going to win. Similarly, if you see a fight like between a small child, 5-year-old child, 5-year-old child and his father, the father may look like he's taking it and he's like, oh, but anybody who has 2% brains knows who is more powerful. There's no chance the son will win, but the father lets him have him his way and not make him like upset, because when children get upset they throw tantrums. So then Lord Narasimha Dev also gave chance to this guy. Another way of seeing it is how Lord Ramachandra gave Ravana all the opportunity, even on the day of the fight when Ravana was supposed to be killed. Lord Ramachandra said, I have nothing to fight for. Just give me my wife and let me go, and we will not fight. You can live longer. But then, because of him being a demon, naturally stupid, so he did not agree, and then they had the fight. So you can see it from various angles why Lord Narasimha they let him slip. But Prabhupada has commented, just like how Garuda lets the snake slip, or the big snake, a big vulture or big eagle, it feeds on the snake, so it's carrying the snake, and just for playing with it, it momentarily drops the snake, and snake is like, yes, I'm free. Once I touch the ground, I'm going to run away and slide away and hide myself. But before touching the ground, the eagle again snatches. So that's how Lord Narasimha Dev let Hiranyakashipu go, but also not let go, because Hiranyakashipu was stupid enough to come back and fight. So we shall see in the future verses. Let's go to the next verse and see actually what happened after Lord Narasimha Dev let him go. Text 27. Translation. When Hiranyakashipu was freed from the hands of Narasimha Dev, he falsely thought that the Lord was afraid of his prowess. Therefore, after taking a little rest from the fight, he took up his sword and shield and again attacked the Lord with great force. This is the stupidity of Hiranyakashipu. After Lord lets him go, he should like just run away and hide somewhere, or like just surrender and say, my dear Lord, I'm sorry, whatever happened, I did not have enough brains to accept your supremacy, but now I'm here. Please forgive me. But no, because he's a demon, it is in his blood to fight. So, he again, after a little bit rest, comes back. Stupid man. Purport by Prabhupada. When a sinful man enjoys material facilities, foolish people sometimes think, how is that sinful man? How is that this sinful man is enjoying, whereas pious men are suffering? By the will of the Supreme, a sinful man is sometimes given the chance to enjoy material world, as if he were not under the clutches of the material nature, just so that he may be fooled. A sinful man who acts against the laws of nature must be punished, but sometimes he is given a chance to play exactly like Hiranyakashipu. When he was released from the hands of Narasimha Dev, Hiranyakashipu was destined to be ultimately killed by Narasimhadev, but just to see the fun, the Lord gave him a chance to slip from his hands. So Lord is giving him a chance, okay, slip from my hand, use your brains, surrender, and we can call it a day, not fight, you can live, as long as you let all of these demigods live peacefully, and as long as you let your son live peacefully. But Hiranyakashipu, demon, synonymous with stupid. So what can be done? Stupid is stupid. I read somewhere long time ago that there is no medicine for stupidity. You can, if you get hurt somewhere, there is a medicine you can apply on your wherever you got hurt. You put a bandage. After some time, it will come right. But if you're stupid enough to close your eyes and walk on the street and you get hurt, maybe you die. But that doesn't have medication because stupidity does not have medication. So Hiranyakashipu was a serious kind of stupid. There was no medication for him to get well. He had to die. So he decided to take rest, couple of minutes, couple of seconds, and then come back in full force with the sword and the shield and fight Lord Narasimha Dev and kill Lord Narasimha Dev and continue being the supreme personality of Godhead, so called. But it didn't really work. We all know how it ended. And we will read further how it ended also in great detail. So let's go ahead and see what the next verse is saying. Text 28. Making a loud, shrill sound of a laughter, the supreme personality of Godhead Narayan, who is extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakashipu, who was protecting himself with a sword and a shield. Leaving no gaps open. With the speed of a hawk, Hiranyakashipu moved, sometimes in the sky and sometimes on earth. His eyes closed because of fear of Lord Narasimha Dev's laughter. He was even afraid of Lord Narasimha Dev's laughter. Forget about Lord Narasimha Dev himself. Text 29. Translation: As a snake captures a mouse, or Garuda captures a very venomous snake, Lord Narasimha Dev captured Hiranyakashipu, who could not be pierced even by a thunderbolt of King Indra. As Hiranyakashipu moved his limbs here, there, and all around, very much afflicted by being captured, Lord Narasimha Dev placed the demon on his lap, supporting him with his thighs, and in the doorway of the assembly, the Lord very easily tore the demon to pieces with his nails or with the nails of his hands. Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. Narasimhadev finally killed this demon. Let's read the purport, the commentary by Srila Prabhupada. Hiranyakashipu had received from Lord Brahma the benediction that he would not die on land or in sky. Therefore, to keep the promise of Lord Brahma intact, Narasimhadev placed Hiranyakashipu's body on his lap, which was neither the land nor the sky. Yes, we see how demons come up with serious plans to live forever. So he said, we also see there's the land and the sky. There's no third option, or the water which is on the land. So it's considered the same. So he was intelligent. He thought, he said, Lord Brahma, no immortality. Okay, is okay. Let's look at the clause again, and please make sure I do not die on the land or in the sky or in the air. Same thing. So Lord Narasimha, they've kept him on his lap, which was technically not land and not in the air. He was in the middle. So Lord Narasimha Dev, being Lord Vishnu, Lord Hari, being the most intelligent, he cut open through Lord Brahma's benediction, keeping the benediction intact. It's not land, it's not sky, it's in the middle. So Lord Brahma does not look like, okay, nobody is going to worship me. No, people still worship Lord Brahma, people still ask for benedictions. Oh my Lord, please give me 1, 2, 3, whatever they need. Let's read a little ahead. Hiranyakashipu had received the benediction that he would not die either during the day or at night. Therefore, to keep the promise of Brahma, the Lord killed Hiranyakashipu in the evening, which is the end of the day and the beginning of the night. But it's not day nor night. Yes, I don't want to die at night, and I don't want to die in the during the daytime. So okay, in the evening when it's not day and it's not night, Lord Narasimha Deva came, did the needful, and killed Hiranyakashipu. Then reading ahead, we see how Hiranyakashipu had taken a benediction from Lord Brahma that he would not die from any weapon or any person, dead or alive. Therefore, just to keep the word of Lord Brahma, Lord Narasimha Deva pierced Hiranyakashipu's body with his nails, which were not the weapons, which were not, which and were neither living nor dead. Indeed, the nails can be called dead, but at the same time they are said to be alive. This is a very, you know, on the cusp. The nails are on the cusp. They are not dead. They are alive. That's why they keep growing. But they are dead because if you cut them, you don't feel pain. I mean, nowadays I see people having long, long nails, and the ladies especially, and when they cut, naturally they're going to cry, "Oh, my nail, my nail!" But technically, it has no life till because it will grow back, and it will grow back, which means it is alive. But when we cut it, we will not feel the pain. So he's dead. So he did not want to be dying at the hands of any weapon. So Lord Narasimhadev made that arrangement also. Nails are not weapon; they are not alive or dead. So there you go. You can try to fool the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but very difficult, next to impossible. Hiranyakashipu took these benedictions and he thought, I'm not going to die now. But hey, it really didn't work out in his favor. Let's read a bit ahead and call this a day. To keep intact all of Lord Brahma's benedictions, Lord Narasimhadev paradoxically but very easily killed the great demon. So, yes, not during the day, not at night, so in the evening, not by a man or a human. Narasimhadev, not a man, not a human, somewhere in the middle. Then not in the air or on the earth, on the lap, not by any weapon, living or dead, by the nails, which are technically not living, nor are they dead. So Hiranyakashipu was confused when he saw Narasimhadev. Also, Prabhupada says in the beginning when Narasimhadev appeared that he could not fathom who this guy is. Is this a man? Is this a lion? So he knew that death is around the corner, but because demon, you never give up. Never give up. Keep living long. But even after keeping living long, you still have to die. One of my, not one of my sister's friend sent her reels. Nowadays, people are scrolling whole day watching reels on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and they forwarded one reel to my sister, and my sister was with me, or she's with me, so she was showing it to me, and the reel was there's this guy who is saying, oh, you should wake up at 5 o'clock, and then you should do yoga, and you should go, then after that go for a walk, after that you should go for a gym and have a very protein rich breakfast, and after breakfast you can go to your office, and when you come back from office you should again have a very light meal so that your body is nicely digesting everything. Then go for an evening walk to digest what you ate, and then at night you should uh, just have a tea if you are hungry, and then sleep early, so that sleep early and then you can wake up early at 5 o'clock, and then do the whole thing again. And like this, when you do for many years, for about 60, 70 years, and then you're going to die. So people live like, I'm going to live healthy and I'm going to live longer, but technically you are going to die. But Hiranyakashipu also thought the same. I'm going to live like this, and I'm going to rule the world. I'm sorry, universe, and I'm never going to die. But one who has taken birth has to die. So then, poor guy, he died in this verse. Now we now we saw. When we meet tomorrow, we'll carry on discussing how Narasimha Deva is finally dead, and all the demigods and all the Siddhas, Charanas, Pithas, everybody's happy and everybody's, offering obeisances, starting with Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma starts offering obeisances and prayers, because he was the one who gave so much power to Hiranyakashipu. So he has to be the first one to put, sorry, my lord, I was just trying to do my duty, pleased me, and I was supposed to give benediction. So I gave benediction, but I did not put so much thinking into it that he's going to do 1, 2, 3 with the benediction. So, and then Lord Shiva is praying, and we'll see how the demigods pray. And after we finish this chapter, we'll see how the greatest devotee, Prahlad, for whom Lord appeared, he's praying. The whole chapter is of his prayers. So we'll see how that goes through. Thank you very much for joining us. Please subscribe to our channel for kathas like this. And also, we are posting simultaneously short clips on how karma works. So you can also check that out. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hiranyakashipu ki Narasimha Deva Bhagwan ki jai. See you tomorrow.